New Orleans, 1847. The city thrived under gaslight, jazz, and jubilation, but like every other city, when the light faded, the shadows took over. Madame Lefèvre was well known throughout the Vieux Carré, not for her opulent soirees or her sultry beauty, but for the ominous fortune-telling sessions she held in the back room of her mansion in Rue Chartres. Clients came from afar, and the nature of their visits was always shrouded in secrecy. One evening, a man named Armand ventured to Madame Lefèvre's doorstep. Skeptic yet troubled, Armand didn't believe in soothsaying, but recent dreams troubled his sleep. Dreams that felt all too real, where a shadow pursued him along the misty lanes of New Orleans, its intentions malicious. As Armand recounted his dreams to Madame Lefèvre, she pulled out an ancient-looking deck of cards. The cards bore symbols that seemed to move and shift before one's eyes, casting fleeting images that melded reality with the otherworldly. She laid the cards out in a peculiar formation. "These cards tell me you're being pursued by l'ombre de minuit, the midnight shadow," she whispered, a deep frown forming on her brow. "It's a manifestation of your most profound regrets, a tormentor, a reminder." Armand felt a chill. "Regrets? I am but an honest man," he declared. Madame Lefèvre looked deep into his eyes. "The shadow doesn't lie. It's drawn to unfinished business, a slight done unto another, a debt unpaid." Armand's thoughts darted back to years ago when he had betrayed his closest friend Luc over a business deal, causing Luc's descent into destitution and despair. Luc disappeared one night and no one ever saw him again. Guilt gnawed at Armand's conscience, but he had buried it deep. As he left the mansion, the gas lamps that lined the street seemed dimmer, the shadows darker. With every step he took, he felt a presence, an overwhelming sensation of being watched. Night after night, the shadow crept closer in his dreams, its silhouette stretching over him, casting a palpable dread. One evening, just as dusk was setting, Armand decided to confront his past. He visited the old decrepit building where Luc had last resided. With every step on the creaking floorboards, memories flooded back. As he reached Luc's room, a gust of cold wind blew in, extinguishing the candle in his hand. And there on the window was the unmistakable outline of the midnight shadow. Summoning courage, Armand spoke aloud. "Luc, if it's you, know that I am deeply sorry. I was blinded by greed and ambition. My betrayal was unforgivable. Please, grant me a chance at redemption." The room was silent but for the soft howling of the wind. Slowly, a figure stepped out from the darkness. It wasn't the amorphous shadow, but a man, or what seemed to be one. His face was gaunt, eyes hollow, but unmistakably, it was Luc. "I have been bound to this world by pain and betrayal. I became the shadow, Armand. But your acknowledgement, your genuine remorse, has given me a chance at peace," he whispered, his voice echoing with a spectral quality. Armand, teary-eyed, approached his old friend, extending his hand in a gesture of reconciliation. But as their fingers were about to touch, Luc began to fade, his form dispersing like mist under the morning sun. The curse of the midnight shadow was broken. From that day, Armand devoted himself to acts of kindness and charity, ensuring that no one else would have to endure the haunting of their past mistakes. He also established a memorial in Luc's name, a reminder of the costs of betrayal and the redemption that comes from acknowledgement. As for Madame Lefèvre, she vanished, leaving behind only her mansion and its tales. Some say she was a guide, directing lost souls to confront their past. Others believed she herself was a spirit, bound to New Orleans, setting things right one soul at a time. And so in the heart of New Orleans, amongst jazz, jubilation and jambalaya, tales of l'ombre de minuit still float around, a reminder that one must always face their shadows lest they consume them.